Welcome to Konoha Crush, a clandestine effort to exhaustively research and document events occurring in and around the village hidden in the leaves. I'm Ruby.
I'm Gwen. Hi.
Hi, hey Gwen, it's episode 30. We're here.
Yeah, episode 30, the big 3-0.
This is the biggest number anybody's ever had a podcast reach.
No, it's not.
Really?
Yeah. It's the biggest number I've ever had a podcast reach. Does that count?
I mean, me too.
Okay, that's good.
That's pretty, yeah, okay. Oh, that counts. That's good enough for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm gonna lean into like a solipsis thing. I don't think anybody else has ever made a podcast. That wasn't me.
Uh-huh.
If I ever guested on a podcast, it only existed when I was there. I can't commit to this. I don't believe this at all. How's it been? How have you been this last week?
Oh, I've been good. A lot of my week was eaten up by dealing with, like, computer stuff.
Yeah, you had, like, some computer issues that you resolved in a very powerful and sexy manner, I understand.
Yeah, do you want me to tell that story? I can tell that story.
You should totally tell that story.
Alright, so recently I bought a new motherboard, CPU, and case, right? Because my graphics card's fine, my power supply is fine, you know, I have plenty of RAM, like, everything's good except for those three. And so, like, I built the PC, and, you know, it's not like there were no hitches, but, like, you know, normal PC building stuff, like, nothing too big of a deal. But there was a problem. Episode 29 was on my old hard drive, and we needed that.
We did need that.
The only issue is, when I plug the old hard drive into this here PC, because the file was in the documents folder of like a Windows user that I was no longer, you know, using, it decided not to give me access to it. And so I tried some like file recovery stuff that like ran for hours and didn't give me shit. And eventually got to the point where the thing I had to do was go and fetch the old case with the old motherboard and old CPU, like basically out of the dumpster, to bring it back in here and like Frankenstein the two towers together just enough to where I don't have to take everything apart. And so like it gets what is basically the old computer running again in order for me to like move the file we need, episode 29, onto a place in the hard drive that I can access on the other computer. And it felt great. I felt so powerful. I was so strong. I had to hold the CPU fan in place while it was running. Because it came out, it was like old and like a little bit busted, and so like the clips were fucked up and like it wouldn't go back in. So I like held it in place while it was transferring the file over, and I felt so fucking strong.
You were so fucking strong. You got there. And, like, obviously, you know, everybody listening to this podcast knows that we got episode 29 recovered. I mean, that shit is on the Patreon while we're recording this. So, like...
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's all good. Anyway, that's why I'm invincible.
Mm-hmm. I've still, like, kind of been, like... I feel like I've been on break from, like, doing shit I talk about in this first segment of the podcast still. I feel like I'm starting to feel those ninjas rev up again. Like, maybe next week I'll have some shit to talk about. But, like, you know... I think that like maybe having a bit of time where I'm just like maybe not doing all that shit is it's been all right, and I'm sure I'll like really appreciate it. Just in time to like burn myself out and watching too much shit that's during and fall. But like, you know, for now I'm like I'm slowly getting back there. I'm slowly getting ready to watch anime again that is for podcasts, but also is like sort of for podcasts because I want to talk about it here.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it is.
Yeah. Nice.
So that's my update, which is like pretty insubstantial, but you know,
mm-hmm.
that's how it is sometimes. Watch Licorice Rico with you again. Still a good show.
Still a good fucking show.
We're gonna say this every week, unless it gets really bad for some reason. But, like, why would it do that?
Yeah, I can't imagine why it would do that.
That would be a betrayal.
The only way that show would get bad is if like, it got, like, super fucking straight last second.
Like, they just introduced boys in the last episode to be like, okay, they're gonna go get married now.
Yeah, they go get married.
Had you not heard about Chisato talking to his boyfriends? We must have forgotten to mention them in the first, like, 11 episodes, but they're here now.
We can't even joke about this.
I feel like that, at least, is pretty unlikely.
Yeah, it's extremely unlikely, but, like, every time we speak it, we speak it a little bit more into being. So, like, we have to stop.
I'm choosing to believe in this one specific area that I don't possess that power, that I'm not that strong. All other situations, I'm invincible and can do anything.
Yeah.
But, like...
Mm-hmm. That's just...
I'm recognizing my limits here and here only.
Oh my god, you're so cool.
Thank you. Oh my god. Do you want to I can talk about Naruto?
Yeah, we could talk about Naruto.
Yeah, okay.
Episode 89, An Impossible Choice. The Pain Within Tsunade's Heart. Jiraiya shows Naruto the final step in his Rasengan training. He needs to hold an air-filled balloon in his hand with the Rasengan and not pop it. Naruto wants to stick around and train, but Jiraiya needs them to start moving to find Tsunade. Tsunade wants to know what Orochimaru wants, and he tells her about his arms and the third Hokage's cool murder. She turns him down, so Orochimaru taunts her about her dead loved ones.
Alright, so before we get all the way into this episode, I want to talk a little bit about, like, the construction of English Naruto episode titles, because there's been a few times where I've noticed, like, oh, hey, the thing that they're saying in Japanese doesn't really match at all with the thing they're saying the English episode of this title is. And, like, this time, the Japanese episode title is just Hamon. Like, that's it. Like, you know, it's just, like, ripple, which means, like, both in, like, the literal sense of, like, ripples on the water or whatever, but also, like, in the more, you know, like, metaphorical sense of, like, repercussions, like, spreading out from, like, a single event, right? Very similar connotations to that word in English and Japanese. And it's just very fascinating to me the ways in which, like, the English localization of this show wound up, like, constructing something that is more within, like, this sort of preconceived idea of what anime episode titles are like.
Yeah. I noticed this too a while ago.
Yeah, like, there's been a few times this happened. There was, like, one episode a while back where, like, part of the Japanese title was Naruto just yelling, "Oh no." That didn't really get carried over.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, it's happened a few times, but this one was just, like, so, like, dramatic in terms of, like, oh, they made, like, an episode title that is, like, 7 entire words longer than the single word Japanese title. It's just, like, it is fascinating to me the way in which, like, a production like this, like a translation production would, like, work to, like, maintain that set of expectations. You know, I don't know. I think it's just interesting, basically.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, on to the actual episode. I feel like this episode begins with, like, maybe the most father and son Naruto and Jiraiya moment yet, where Jiraiya is, like, doing his big, goofy, like, let's go proclamation, and Naruto's like, you're not fucking funny. You think you're, like, fucking funny, but you're not.
God, quit being so embarrassing, Dad.
It's great. It's very cute. You know, Naruto, like, really doesn't want to fucking just head off and do shit. He wants to, like, learn how to do the Rasengan more. And so Jiraiya's like, okay, here's, like, stage 3. He, like, brings out another balloon, and there's, like, this great, like, extremely despair-filled, like, oh, I can't fucking believe I'm seeing balloons again. He's so sick of this shit. He doesn't want to see anything less than balloons. It's beautiful. Like, it's a great moment of, like, delivery from Jinko Takeuchi. It's like Naruto is just, like, miserable at the fact that whatever he's doing next involves more balloons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's a switch up this time. This time you're supposed to not pop the balloon.
Yeah, hey, so when Jiraiya's demonstrating this, right, like, he's holding the balloon in one hand, and he's like, you know, it looks like nothing is happening, but actually, this is happening. And then he does the Rasengan in his other hand.
Mm-hmm.
What are the odds that Jiraiya's actually doing anything in that balloon?
I mean, I wouldn't bother, right?
Right? Like, how would he know? Like, you know, like, he knows he can do it, right? And, like, he knows he can make it approximately the same size as the balloon or whatever. So, like, why even bother? Like, why even bother going through all the extra effort? You know?
Yeah.
It's normal. It's just a great way to, like, save on effort. You know, it's the kid'll buy it. You know, he's not really the type to be all that, like, incredulous about these sort of things. You know, it's fine. The other thing I want to touch on with regards to this is, like, you know, now that we're seeing the Rasengan a few more times. I think that sort of stood out to me is, like, it is interesting the ways in which, like, the Rasengan is just, like, largely a digital effect, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think this winds up being the case for, like, the Chidori a lot of the time, too, where it's just, like, a lot of, here's a lot of, like, lightning effects, like, overlaid over Sasuke's hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, it's just interesting the way in which, like, this is, like, obviously a very iconic visual in Naruto, right? Like, the Rasengan is something that gets used a lot. But, like, I can't, like, immediately off the top of my head think of a lot of times where it's, like, actually, like, you know, like, drawn on a frame basis by, like, you know, traditional key animation practices rather than, like, yeah, here's a digital effect, which, like, makes sense. Like, you know, it's a lot of, like, lines spinning very fast, which seems like kind of a pain in the ass. I guess I'm, like, curious to see if there are, like, particular moments where, like, breaks past that and, like, goes all out on the Rasengan, or if it's just, like, I was kind of like this. I mean, like, either way, it's fine. It's not really, like, a dig on the thing, and I'm like, at the very least, so acclimated to, like, how the Rasengan looks that it doesn't, like, feel like it sticks out to me. Like, if it is, like, kind of poorly integrated to the extent that it actually stands out, I couldn't tell you because I just have watched Naruto too much. And, like, oh yeah, that's what I was saying on. This is regular to me.
Yeah, totally. Like, now that you're bringing it up, I have been curious what it looks like in the comic.
Oh, I could, like, get an... I didn't have an image for that in my notes, but I could grab one quick if you want to see.
If it's not too much trouble.
It shouldn't be hard. It's kind of like that.
It does look like he's holding a spaghetti orb.
He's kind of holding a spaghetti orb a little bit, yeah. And, like, you probably don't want to, like, have to manually draw the spaghetti orb spinning around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just not cost efficient or, like, a pretty cute productive use of your time. You got other shit to do. You got, like, a lot of boys to draw when you're working on this show.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Naruto and Jiraiya continue their trend of, like, not being particularly conscious about the environment they're in where they're training, and Naruto's littering a lot, and Jiraiya just, like, fucking blows halfway through a tree
Yeah,
when demonstrating the Rasengan.
Jiraiya just kills that tree.
Yeah, I would be, like, really fucking annoyed if I was, like, I don't know, somebody who was just tasked with managing these crowns, and I just learned that these two fucking ninjas have been making, like, the worst mess in the world.
Yeah.
Like, later Naruto is, like, training just by, like, practicing on trees and seeing if he can, like, blow the shit out of them. So, like...
Imagine being someone who lives there, going up there and being like, wait, that was the tree we planted on my grandfather's grave.
Oh my god. Well, hopefully they have the good sense to not be doing this in, like, a graveyard or anything.
Well, I mean, they don't know that they're not.
I guess not.
Sometimes graveyards just look like that.
Like normal forests.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Anyway, we move on from there to, like, the star of the show, the guy we love to see, Orochimaru, is there to talk to Tsunade. Orochimaru's here!
Woo!
He blew up the castle, now he's just having a fucking conversation. He, like, moves immediately from that to be like, alright, yeah, let's talk. We'll just stand here.
Fucking normal guy shit.
Normal guy shit. I love how, like, basically the entire way that this conversation proceeds is that, like, Kabuto is, like, trying to explain something, and, like, you know, just trying to be normal, you know, just trying to, like, say what's going on here, say what the stakes are, and then Orochimaru just says something really fucked up.
I love this guy so much.
Like, Kabuto's like, hey, yeah, okay, so, you know, Orochimaru's injured, you're the person who's, like, best equipped to like, heal this, you know, I think, you know, we can get something worked out that's great for both of us, and, like, Tsunade is like, how'd you get that injury, Orochimaru? And Orochimaru's like, oh, it's no big deal, I just got it when I killed our dad! He's just constantly like this the entire fucking episode, like, every fucking opportunity he gets to, like, say something, like, extremely mean. He just takes it. He leaps at it.
I have so much respect for this guy.
Because it's a bit, like, a little bit later in this conversation where he's just like, yeah, I mean, you know, everything with a form, like, fades someday, and that includes, like, people. And, like, you know something about that, too, because, like, everybody you loved, like, everybody you ever loved died, right, Tsunade? Just, like, being a complete, like, smug piece of shit about her constantly. It's just, like, he knows every mean thing he can say to her, and he's gonna fucking do it. And, like, Kabuto's just kind of, like, I don't know what he's fucking doing with this. He's kind of, like,
I think Kabuto's doing his best.
He's doing his best. He's like, you know, he was like going to a meeting with like somebody he like respected, right? Just hoping he can negotiate this well, you know, maybe like make a good impression on both Orochimaru and Tsunade, and like Orochimaru is just fucking, he's not letting that happen. If we're gonna talk about like how that conversation continues, like I'm ready to move on to the next half of this episode, if you're good to.
Yeah, sure. Shizune won't stand for this and attacks, but gets called off. Tsunade tells Orochimaru not to fuck around with her, and punches down a big stone wall. Naruto and Jiraiya make it to town. Naruto hasn't made much progress, but is still training. Kabuto wants everyone to calm down and negotiate. Tsunade thinks that's a dumb idea and tells them to get lost before she turns them into a blood paste. She starts a countdown, and at the very end, Orochimaru speaks up about reviving her little brother and old boyfriend. In town, Jiraiya and Naruto look around for info on Tsunade, and Naruto wins the lottery. They notice the castle's gone, while Orochimaru tells Tsunade he still plans to destroy the Hidden Leaf.
Well, I love at the start of this part of the episode where, like, you know, Orochimaru has just said something about, like, hey, Tsunade, everyone you ever loved died, and he's just like, what? Why did he say that? He's just saying the worst possible shit. I'm like trying to have like a normal conversation here. Why is he being like this?
Mm-hmm.
Like while Kabuto is just like kind of like silently like mulling this over, there were some cutscenes that kind of surprised me in the sense that like I feel like, you know, usually these would just be like very standard, like, okay, we've got like maybe a little bit of like parallax scrolling of like the multiple characters in this shot, but there's this like, I mean, like it is like pretty slow. It's not like the camera's going crazy, but there's just this like very quietly involved like rotation animation on Kabuto. Is it just like the camera's like ever slow slightly moves, and it's just like a very surprising little bit of the like somebody on Shogun like a little bit above and beyond. I didn't like do a ton of look to see like into who might have been responsible for that, but I was really like caught off guard like seeing that.
Yeah, can we talk about Shizune's like fun little like wrist mounted needle launcher?
Absolutely, we can talk about that.
Okay, I want one.
Yeah, okay.
I want one for all of my limbs.
All right. Is it convenient to use all of those?
No, but they never expect the leg ones.
I guess that's true. You'd be like stretching down. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know what situation you'd be like have your leg in position to like aim at somebody and like reach down for it. But like if you can make that work, it'll happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if the needles you're launching are poisoned enough, it's okay if you just get them in the leg or something.
Yeah, and like maybe I can actuate it with my other leg too, right? So it's just like,
Oh yeah, I mean, and like you're like a puppet person, so you can probably just like do like strings, like chakra threads and shit.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, okay, never mind. This is good actually. This is great. I retract all my concerns. It's like a very cool weapon. Like usual caveats apply about how like range attacks basically never work in Naruto, but like it's pretty sick.
Yeah, I mean, like range attacks never work unless you like really sucker somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can get a poison needle in them,
Yeah.
that's a different story.
I guess like range attacks never work, and the kind of thing we see happen in Naruto, which is basically never actual like stealth attacks, and almost always like, yeah, okay, here's the two people and they're fighting each other,
Yeah,
and they know that they're fighting each other.
Yeah, it's like a shuriken clash between them to like signal the start of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like she's like pretty cool hair like that. She just like immediately fucking goes for Kabuto's throat. She's like, okay, well I didn't poison Orochimaru, but I'm gonna fucking get this guy. I feel like we basically never see Shizune fight after this point. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't come across like much of a fighter.
Yeah, but like also, I mean, we know that she's like apparently as good as Kabuto, and like judging by the last arc, Kabuto is like about as good as Kakashi, maybe. So like, who knows? Maybe she's maybe if we're like trying to build a power scale for some reason, she goes like, I'm not pursuing this. I don't actually care enough. Never mind.
Well, I mean, she doesn't seem like that much of a fighter, but she's also the person who is always standing next to Tsunade, one of the Sani.
Yeah, so like she's probably learned a thing or two.
Yeah. But I love how Tsunade is just like, I love how Tsunade is just like, why would you come here to talk to me about this? Like, leave now, or I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
You showed it to me and you like literally only said things that would piss me off the most. Like, what was your game here? She just like explodes a wall. In this scene at least, Tsunade gets to be like pretty cool and intense seeming. Maybe less so later, but like, for this brief shining moment, it's like, oh shit, Tsunade is like strong. Maybe Tsunade will do something.
Well, unfortunately, Orochimaru knows all of the buttons to push.
Yeah, which like I don't hate in principle, right? Like I don't hate him being the person who, like has to present this challenge to her or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I do want to say in the subs I have, which are like I believe like the subs that were on the like DVD releases and also the subs that are on like Crunchyroll, Orochimaru like makes his offer in like the most awkward phrasing possible, which I like noticed like because like they keep like flashing back to it and using the exact same like structure of the line every time. The line as a reason subs I have is, "I'll resurrect the little brother and man, both of whom you loved," and it's like, why did you say it like that? Why did this happen?
Wait, yeah, I'm pretty sure the dub line is more like, "I'll resurrect your precious brother and the man you loved."
Right. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That you could frame it that are way more natural. That like just made it really stand out to me because again they like flash back to it like every one of the episodes we watched this week. So it just really fucking struck me and like stuck in my mind. Anyway, Orochimaru says this, everybody is shocked, even the pig is shocked. We get like the like reaction cut into everybody. The fucking pig is like all intense and angry about it. Is this pig like a person in the way that like Kakashi's ninja dogs are? Do we know?
I don't think it ever talks.
Yeah, like maybe it's just shy. Like the way that the scene was framed suggests that it, like the pig understands the emotional stakes of the scene.
Right. Yeah. I mean, maybe it just does. Maybe it is just that smart.
Maybe.
Right? Because like pigs are smart.
Mm-hmm.
Pigs are
like I'm not.
Pigs are supposed to be smarter than dogs, right?
Yeah. Okay. This pig is just like waiting for the right chance to talk. Like when nobody knows that you're a talking pig, everybody underestimates you, and you can get a whole lot of shit done.
Yeah.
The pig is like an important part of like Tsunade's like money gaining operations. It just steals shit sometimes. I think the pig has a name. I just don't remember the pig's name.
I don't remember the pig's name because it doesn't talk.
That's the problem. Like nobody remembers your name if you don't talk. But like there's other advantages. It's a trade off.
Mm-hmm.
Cutting back from the scene, we go over like Naruto and Jiraiya. Like Naruto's wandering around like trying to do like the balloon practice, and I feel like I have to like address some of the things I said on the previous episode. We talked at some length about how like it seemed like for the most part Jiraiya wasn't actually doing much to gather information. He was just fucking around.
Mm-hmm.
And like I tried to be like, well, maybe he's gathering information while doing that. Maybe he's like doing stuff off screen while we don't see. But I think that actually he just wasn't doing shit, because in spite of going to Naruto and being like, hey, we need to go find Tsunade right now, he doesn't really seem to have a clue where she is at all.
Yeah.
He's choosing the places to ask around like about her a little bit better. But like this seems like stuff he should be able to know, and I feel like it reflects pretty poorly on him, especially in comparison to Orochimaru, who like learned where she was and then walked in a straight line directly to her location. It's just not like a... I mean, it doesn't really reflect well on his ability to like notice what's going on around him. And the other thing that kept like fucking driving me crazy in this part of the episode is that nobody seems to have noticed that Orochimaru did Snake Knight 11.
Right! I was thinking that too!
Like, nobody they talked to was like, yeah, I mean, I saw around it. Also, hey, that castle that's, like, in the center of town on, like, a raised platform where you can, like, see from anywhere in town, like, exploded from a big snake. Like, nobody fucking noticed.
Nobody fucking saw.
Like, Jiraiya doesn't, like, notice either until he's, like, looking at the fucking, like he's like, oh, we should go to the castle, because that's high ground. You know, we can get, like, a good view from up there. And he, like, looks up to where the castle is, and it's like, huh, where's the castle? It's like, how is this happening? They're like wandering around, right? And they're like, like they have all these scenes where like, they're like showing up at gambling halls and like guys are like trying to convince Naruto to gamble. Like it's this whole succession of scenes that like feels very much like it's the sort of thing that would be like, oh yeah, we added this in the anime to sort of like pad things out, sort of like get some extra scenes in there because like we're only covering this much of the manga in this episode. But it's all like pulled directly from the manga.
Weird.
And so, like, which, like, again, like I said, it just, it makes Jiraiya seem like he doesn't fucking know what he's doing at all. And it's also, like, a complete, like, bizarre disconnect from, like, the events that we know happened here and the extent to which people in this place, like, are aware of them. Even though one of them was a big snake fucking exploding the castle at the center of town.
Yeah. I can't believe there's not, like, more of a commotion going on about the castle explosion.
Right? Like, it didn't seem subtle.
It's the castle your town is named after, right?
Yeah.
The big one right in the middle of everything on a huge raised platform exploded into a cloud of dust with the fucking giant snake.
Nobody was looking.
Nobody looked.
Everybody was just inside at the time.
You didn't hear anything? God damn. But we have to move on from that.
We have to move on from that, right? We check back in with like we end the episode on like Orochimaru and Kabuto and Tsunade and Tsunade again. Also, like something I forgot to mention earlier that I wanted to like touch on that like drove me crazy a little bit is like when Tsunade like punches the wall and explodes it. There's this like really weird aside where it's like where Kabuto sees this and is like, oh, I bet she's single. It's like what are we doing here? What is this about? Like what?
Yeah. Also, he's just fucking raw. Like he's so fucking incorrect. I see that and go, ooh, is she single?
Right? But also it's like why are we doing this like weird fucking like extremely heroic comedy aside in like the middle of this very tense scene? Why is Kabuto the guy doing this? Why does he fucking care? Like I don't.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, we like, there's the opportunity to go for this like extremely like bland like, oh yeah, this woman is really strong, so guys don't like her because I don't know. I don't know.
Fucking cowards.
Like, but it's like it is like a format of joke that persists in spite of everything else, right? Like, it is very cheap and like, there's nothing really like, I don't know, like, it's just one of those jokes. It's like, yeah, I mean, I recognize this as a joke that things do, but it's not like there's anything really funny about it, but like, it just feels like completely out of place here. Like, why? Like, again, like, it is the closest we get, like, okay, it's not being like a strong, intense woman in this like fucking show, and it's also like immediately paired with Kabuto being like, oh, I bet she's single. I bet guys don't like her. And it's like, why are we? Can we not have just let it slide? Can we not have just like just not done that one? I don't know. It really fucking stuck out to me. It just felt like really strange with the tone of the scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, like Tsunade's been sort of like mulling it over. She's been like, she heard Orochimaru's offer. She's like, okay, what are you gonna do if I like heal your arms? And like Orochimaru, fucking king that he is like so fucking certain that he's got her. He's like, yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna destroy the hidden leaf for real this time. Like, it's fine. It's like, yeah, just the complete like, all right, yeah, I mean, I fucking got the situation in hand, so I'm just gonna be the biggest psycho I can be, and it's aspirational, honestly.
I love Orochimaru so fucking much.
Orochimaru is like my hero. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Did you have anything else you want to say about this episode?
No. You ready to move on?
Yeah.
Episode 90. Unforgivable. A total lack of respect. Naruto and Jiraiya make their way to the castle, learning on the way that it was crushed by a giant snake. Tsunade considers Orochimaru's offer but is obviously conflicted. Shizune begs her to refuse, but Tsunade snaps at her. Kabuto gives them 1 week to decide, and tells them finding the human sacrifices would be their responsibility. Orochimaru departs after taunting Tsunade about her fear of blood. Tsunade goes to get sake drunk at a bar. Luckily, Jiraiya picks the same bar to gather information. They talk business over a game of cards.
Naruto and Jiraiya start heading towards the castle now that they realize it isn't there. They counter the one person in all of Tanzaku Town who, noticed.
Yeah, okay, can we talk about the scene?
Yes, absolutely.
Because I understand I was just saying that, there should be more people causing a commotion about this.
Mm-hmm.
However, these, 3 people running through the street going oh no, there was a giant snake over there. Long after everything is calmed down.
Were they just, running in circles around the castle and be oh no, there's a giant snake over there, waiting for somebody to fucking notice?
Right, because it feels like that happened hours ago, right?
Yeah, it...
I mean, it happened, one conversation ago, right? So, not actually that long, realistically, maybe 20 minutes. But,
it was also long enough for, Naruto and Jiraiya to be, wandering around the town, for a long fucking time. Because, it's cutting back and forth between the scenes like it does, it just seems okay, it has to have been, at least a little while. And it's just, it's very strange.
Yeah, I just noticed it being weird at, conveying the time scale of these things.
Oh, absolutely. I love that Naruto, here's this guy, he's okay, hold on. How big of a snake are we talking about here? Because, I saw a big snake once, and it was it was kind of bad news. And Jiraiya's hey, it was probably the same snake. Don't worry about it, kid. Don't fucking talk to this guy anymore. He needs to get back to his, busy schedule of, running around and screaming.
It's he's a fucking Skyrim NPC that just starts running and screaming as soon as you show up.
Yeah. Fucking conversation tree shows up when you press the fucking interact button, then as soon as it's done, he starts running and screaming again.
Yeah, but back to the conversation.
Yeah, so Tsunade is obviously on the hook a little bit, and Shizune is doing her whole no, you're better than this. Think of your principles. It's this whole big scene of Shizune is talking around things that we'll have explained to us in short order, but she's also saying them a little bit too blatantly, right? She's being both too direct and too indirect for it to be anything other than oh, this is a signal to us, the audience, to know that there's something we should be interested in here. And it's definitely kind of awkward that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of a shame, I feel there could be opportunity for maybe expressing this in a little bit more of a characterful way, but I don't know, sometimes Naruto is kind of blunt, and that's something I have to make my peace with.
Yeah. And also sometimes the vague thing you can do is just saying stuff and not explaining it.
Right. I just think that the extent to which she the extent to which she gestures at stuff without explaining it just feels very it feels it's kind of grating against itself a little bit. And maybe it's kind of a little thing to be so hung up on, but it just
totally.
So while Tsunade just kind of she's kind of on edge, she's kind of freaked out, she's kind of not sure what to do. Orochimaru's hey, I can make this worse, actually. I can make her more upset, so I'm just gonna do that. He fucking painstakingly brings a finger up to his mouth to bite, so he starts bleeding, and points at holds at her to reveal oh my god, Tsunade is afraid of blood.
Again, king shit.
Yeah, kind of king shit. Kabuto is again, there's a sort of interesting angle in the scene where Kabuto is kind of surprised learning this about Tsunade, right? We had that vague impression in earlier episodes that Tsunade was somebody he looked up to.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's this extent of him being kind of confronted with the reality of oh shit, there's all the stuff about her I didn't know that that I think is sort of interesting. Even if I don't know if we actually get that much built on it. I think is a little less interesting, or I guess more disappointing, is the extent to which I don't have a problem with Tsunade having all of this baggage. I don't have a problem with Tsunade having these fears to get over, but I feel there's an extent to which it is here are all of the things that we've piled on her to prevent her from being all that active in this scene, right? As fun as it is to watch Orochimaru be the Seiko who strolls in here knows all the buttons to press, it's also a little bit disappointing to see Tsunade's position in the story be completely fucking neutralized to just okay, well now she's in the classic Naruto girl mode of worrying about something.
Yeah.
And like she gets to be like a little bit characterful in that, like you know, it's not like she's like completely like stuck in that. Like I think like there's some like interesting stuff with her in like this episode later on. But it was I don't know. It's like in my mind like Tsunade was like the one woman in Naruto who like sort of gets to do something, and like I feel like I am at least seeing like the foundation of that sort of be like chipped away at throughout these episodes in a way that was like really frustrating to me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, you know, I have to have hope. I have to imagine that Tsunade, like, being that person, that character, is something that we will at least see, like, bits and pieces of, like, sprinkled throughout her being gradually more and more, like, just, like, a passive, like, Naruto girl character.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we'll see, you know?
We'll see. But yeah, you know, like, having successfully made Tsunade very sad, Orochimaru fucks off. Kabuto follows suit. And, you know, I get like Tsunade and Suzuki seem to like depart before like Jiraiya and Naruto get there, because Jiraiya's just really not on the ball here. But like it's okay. They like run into each other at a bar. I have to say I really like the scenes in the bar. Like just in terms of like how they are constructed. I think that like when compared to the manga, the stuff in the bar is like making the best use of the fact like this is like in an animated medium, and like we have this like consistent like size of like the frame that we're working with, right? So I think like throughout like all of the conversations in the bar, there's like this really great sense of like, yeah, there's all these like different characters in the scene, and there's all these different like props on the table, and there's like a very like consistent like weight and sense of depth with how they're portrayed. This episode was like storyboarded by Shinji Sato. Talking about good aims on here, I think he's got like a really great sense of that kind of thing. And then like the animation direction was Akira Matsushima, which like means that like a lot of the people who are usually working with him on the show are also there. You know, it's not like a big flashy scene, but there's a lot of like very quiet touches and like the layouts and like the way that the scene is framed that I think are just like really, they really do a lot to like heighten it and give like this great like sense of tension to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are like so many great moments where like Jiraiya and Tsunade are talking to each other, but they're also like there's all these like really long pauses that are like busy themselves with things at the table, whether it's like pouring drinks or like shuffling a deck of cards or whatever. And like in the meanwhile, like Naruto's just fucking eating, and like occasionally like, you know, like there's a bit where like Jiraiya will like pass like what the food that's on his plate over to Naruto because he's like not really interested in eating it anymore at this point. It's just like,
yeah, well, I mean that sequence like was Jiraiya making room for the game of cards they're about to do.
Right, yeah. Again, it's very like,
yeah.
Like I was just like very impressed with it. I think it does like a lot of like both like making a great like usage of the space that the scene takes place in, and also like again like building this great sense of tension as like there's all of these like kind of like quiet dramatic pauses as the characters like find things to do that aren't answering the question before they like figure out what they want to say. I think it's like really great.
I also thought it was really fun. Were you paying any attention to like the hands in poker that they had?
Yeah.
I like how Tsunade was just one card away from a royal flush, just right at the end. Just had a bad one.
Mm-hmm. Right, like Jiraiya, like, you know, he like has like kind of rough hand. He like trades out 3 cards and has like I forget what I don't know the fucking terms for the hands, but like, you know, he's got like there's like 3 kings and 2 aces or whatever.
Yeah, he's got a full house.
Full house, right? And like Tsunade like has to like replace her whole hand, and then she like, you know, like draws like she draws like 5 new cards, and then like it is like unflooring them one by one, and she's like, okay, it's like. Yeah, like it's up to like the last card where I was like, oh shit, she doesn't actually have like the best one. I think it's like another way of like just kind of like matching the like tempo of the conversation to the visuals on the screen in a way that like, because you have the full like space of the screen every time as opposed to the manga where it's a lot of like smaller like close-ups on people's faces, that then you have a lot more room to like do more storytelling with that whole space. And I think this episode just like a really great job of like taking advantage of that.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about this segment?
I mean, like, I feel like most of the actual content of the conversation is in, like, the next half of the episode, which is, like, the next thing I want to talk about, so I figure we should probably, like, move on to that.
Alright. This is apparently Naruto's first time hearing about Orochimaru. Tsunade asks who the kid is and is shocked to hear it's Naruto. Naruto starts throwing a fit and Jiraiya tells him to calm down. Tsunade refuses the position of Hokage and says putting yourself out there and risking your life is for suckers. This sets Naruto off and he threatens to kick her ass about it. Tsunade accepts the challenge and takes it outside. She sends him flying with one finger, and Naruto declares his intentions to become the Hokage. She's caught off guard by Naruto's resemblance to her little brother, and Naruto takes this opportunity to charge at her with an incomplete Rasengan.
Right, so yeah, you know, the conversation progresses, and Naruto quickly realizes he doesn't know shit, and like we start to realize like how much shit Naruto doesn't know. Like it's kind of fascinating to me that like, oh, like the name Orochimaru wasn't actually being passed around like in the village. Like they definitely like seem to have like kept that like as quiet as they possibly could. Like part of this is Naruto being kind of dumb because he did like run into Orochimaru in the forest, But like,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, like there's definitely a sense which like, yeah, like I guess it makes sense that the Leaf would be like trying to keep it under wraps that like, yeah, one of our former strongest guys like attacked us and nearly destroyed everything. Like Tsunade is like, she like wasn't ready to believe that like the Hokage died, so like clearly that news hasn't spread all the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like some interesting textual things about like the ways in which like the Leaf has tried to like keep information from spreading.
Yeah, right. Because like, you don't want to be the ninja village that just got attacked and is like ostensibly weak in case another village wants to move in and finish the job, right?
Right, like the Sand is like not in a position to attack them because of like all the shit that happened, but like everybody else,
Oh yeah,
there's like 3 other big villages and like a bunch of other smaller ones, and any one of them could get some ideas.
Then again, it did happen during the tuning exam, so
Yeah, it did happen during the tutored exam, so like it's not even like you can be that mad about it.
Well, I was gonna say you can't exactly keep it secret from the other villages, but like,
Oh, okay, yeah, there's that too. I guess the village and the grass people know about that, but like, what the fuck are they gonna do? I mean, I don't even know about it. They probably had a lot of guys on home because like it was only like Sand and like Leaf people who made it to the finals.
mm-hmm. We know what I love about the village hidden in the grass is that we actually know basically nothing about any of their shit. Because the only characters we saw representative of them were actually Orochimaru in disguise. And also the 2 of us.
Yeah.
So, who knows what those guys are up to? Or what they're like? Or like what they do?
Well, we know that they are weaker than Orochimaru and us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's...
Or those 3 guys were. That's probably not their strongest guys. They probably just had their strongest guys to take the tuning exams. Or else they're in like a real bad shape.
Yeah. Probably those Genin were not their strongest guys.
Like anyway, Naruto like just like quickly realizes he is like completely like unaware of the scope of the conversation, especially as like they start talking about how like Tsunade is like being offered the role of the Hokage. Again, another thing that like works really well about the scene is that like because there's that like sort of like quiet building tension, because there's that like that like really slow rhythm of like the poker hands and like all of the like all of those beats of silence. When like Naruto is like mad about something, he like completely breaks that flow, and he's like like he is like extra animated in this scene. He's like moving around a bunch. He's like jumping up on the table. He's like waving his arms around.
Yeah,
it's great stuff.
It's really good.
Like Tsunade turns down the position, and like Naruto fucking like is like instantly angry about this. Jiraiya is like making a mental note that he can never tell Naruto that he like turned down the position of the Hokage.
Yeah. Jiraiya would not be a good Hokage though.
He would not be, but also like, I mean, this is something that like want to like really like eating away at me is like the sort of like traits that makes Jiraiya like not be a good Hokage, like the way that he's like always going around being a sex pest and just like all that shit. All of his like more frivolous nature are like Jiraiya gets to like hang on to those and be the guy who's like, yeah, I'm not a good fit for the Hokage. But like Tsunade is the one who needs to like be fucking responsible and fucking like drop all our gambling shit, go back and get a fucking Hokage job. It wanted to be like a little frustrating to me the ways in which Tsunade was like
taking on that responsibility as the woman.
Yeah, right. Like Tsunade is the one who doesn't get to have like those like quote unquote fun character traits, especially like Tsunade's are like I feel like way more palatable than Jiraiya's,
Yeah.
And it's also like, Tsunade's like explanation for why she doesn't want to be Hokage is like way more I feel like pretty well reasoned, especially in comparison to Jiraiya's like I don't want to, right? Like Tsunade's like I don't want to be the Hokage because like I have seen how this shit goes. Like being the Hokage means like basically like throwing your life away in the pursuit of some goal that like the job like by itself cannot actually accomplish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every Hokage was like, yeah, I'm gonna like bring the world to peace. I'm gonna like get all the shit under control, and like all of them are fucking dead, like in pursuit of that.
She's fucking right, by the way. Also,
yeah, like she's just right. Like you can't actually be the Hokage and like fix the fucking world. Like you can't actually like you can't be like the president of one country's CIA and like make everything good without like doing a whole lot of fucking evil shit. Like that wouldn't make it good. That would just make it like quiet.
Yeah.
Like obviously in the context of Naruto, it's like this is like something that needs to be like. I don't know, like this is a position she needs to like move past so she can take on the job. But like it's, I just but like wind up feeling kind of like it's a thing I'm kind of annoyed about, right? Like, like she doesn't get to have it like a perspective that is really her own. Or like I mean like she does like her perspective is that is her own is this thing that she's saying about like how like yeah like being the Hokage like means fucking throwing your life away in pursuit of this, and like but the actual like conflict that she finds herself in isn't really one that like factors that into account at all, right? Like the conflict that she finds herself in is between like Orochimaru saying like you don't care about any of this shit, so why don't you just like heal my arms and like give you the people you love back, and Jiraiya being like actually you care about this a lot and you're like or the responsible woman and you're gonna like step up to that, and then there's not like any extent to which her own like personal beliefs and feelings about that like necessarily get that same like weight as like the things that the two like guys in her life are putting on her.
Absolutely.
Just like getting ahead of herself a little bit, but like I don't know, it's just kind of like the current that runs throughout these episodes. So I feel like it's just sort of one of those things that like I was going to talk about at some point, and it doesn't really matter when it is.
Yeah, it is frustrating, right? That like Tsunade like has like very little agency in this dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
It's also frustrating that the show decides the wrong one is right.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like that is this is definitely a show that wants to believe that the Hokage can be like a position for good, even if it doesn't necessarily put in the work to prove that to us, the viewers. Especially like us, the very like skeptical viewers who are like, you know, watching this when we're like 28 and like extremely skeptical of change from within the system, as opposed to like watching this as teens, as was intended.
Yeah,
but like there is always like okay, like because I know how this ends, it makes me worry that like the direction of the arc is just like going to be Tsunade being steamrolled by like you know the fucking like Naruto's like perspective and like Jiraiya's perspective, and like I don't know, it is frustrating because like you know when Naruto like is like mad at her, is like angry at her for like you know disrespecting the position of the Hokage and like the people who like threw down their lives or whatever. It's like we're meant to like believe in that to some extent, right? Like we're meant to like be like, oh yeah, Naruto is right because like he saw the fucking third Hokage die and he believes in that or whatever. Or he didn't see him die, but he was at his funeral, and it's like,
yeah,
because this isn't like because this doesn't like do enough to like ground it in like what Tsunade wants and like what her like motivations are. It winds up like centering the conflict of the arc around the idea of like, well, Naruto is like right about this thing, which is like much less compelling than like I don't know, trying to actually like do something with Tsunade's character.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what it brings up. Like one other thing I want to talk about in the scene is that like while like Jiraiya is like explaining to Naruto that like why Tsunade is like qualified for the position of Hokage, there is like a really cool shot where like there's like an empty field and like a bunch of fucking kunai like rain down from the sky, and like we see like Tsunade and like the reflection of a kunai like doing like sick healing shit. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool shot.
Hell yeah, that was a good shot.
And just like a cool visual, like nicely like paced to like the like match the dialogue. It's just a cool little thing. Like a little bit of photo is like completely original to the anime. There's like no real equivalent in the in the manga for that visual. Like, so circling back around to like the poker hand stuff in this episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it is like a very cool like visual storytelling thing to like have Tsunade be like, you know, she is like explaining her actual position, her actual like stakes in this, her actual objections to the Hokage, and like as she is saying that, like, you know, she is like gradually like unveiling like one by one her like good looking hand, right? And like there's like the moment of wavering where she reveals that like she reveals the last card and like realizes that her hand is bad. It's a thing that is like both like okay, it is a cool visual beat and it's also like kind of undercutting her at the same time, right? Where like it feels like we're meant to believe that she's like come to the end of the thing she's saying and like has realized that there's not like weight to it or that like it can't actually take her anywhere. But it's also like not like the things she's saying aren't anything that I have any reason to like disbelieve at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, so Naruto's gonna kick her ass.
Naruto's like making a scene in the middle of the fucking bar, like yelling about how he's gonna like fight this 50-year-old woman, and everybody's like looking over at him concerned.
You gotta respect the kid. Like he's wrong, but you know he's doing the right stuff to stand up for himself. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're gonna have to come to terms with the fact that like you know Naruto is wrong, but the show is still gonna like back him up at some point.
You'll love to see a kid get in way over his head.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy that. Like, I do love Tsunade being like, okay, fine, we'll fucking take this outside. I'll defeat you with one finger, and then she, like, is basically fucking right, you know? Just fucking... Naruto runs out with a knife, she, like, just, like, completely, like, cuts it off by, like, fucking, like, poking him in the wrist and, like, grabbing the kunai with that knife and then, like, fucking knocking his forehead protector off and sending him flying back. Just, like, need to, like, constrain herself just, like, flicking him back in the forehead with one finger so she doesn't fucking collapse his skull.
Yeah.
She fucking gets him.
She fucking gets him so bad. She's like so hot right now.
Can you imagine if Tsunade got to be like continuously kind of like a like a bit more of like a rowdy woman who like got drunk sometimes, got into like fights with people.
I would like the show a lot more.
What if she just got to keep being cool the whole time?
That's that's how it is in my version.
Mm-hmm. Your version sounds like more wonderful by the day, honestly.
Yeah.
But anyway, even though Naruto has like no chance of losing this, he like does declare that he's going to be the Hokage. He runs it with like his like his like Rasengan that he doesn't have like figured out yet, and that's when the episode ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have a new ending, right?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about this ending.
Yeah, okay. What do you have to say about this one?
I was genuinely very impressed with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to me about it. I'm genuinely like I want to say about
it. Do you know who did this?
Yeah, this is Toshiki Suru and Hirofumi Suzuki. Directed and storyboard by Toshiki Suru, and animation supervisor and key animator is Hirofumi Suzuki, which like I guess in this context I assume means that Hirofumi Suzuki was the one who was like did the illustrations and stuff in this, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So like this ending, it is a series of 5 speed paints. Though this episode came out in 2004 originally, and I don't know how like popular the concept of speed paint was at the time. I did like a little bit of digging, and like I don't know, like I didn't find anything on the subject conclusive. But if you don't know what that is, it is basically a sped up like time lapse of just like an artwork being created. And what impressed me a lot about this is with like the software available at the time and the technology. It was digital. I could tell that it was like a digital painting. Probably done in like 2004, so like an older version of like Photoshop and like a fucking Wacom in 202. Probably.
Yeah, I don't know what fucking tools Hirofumi Suzuki had, but like
Right, but like it would have been so tedious, right? Because like. I don't know what kind of like I don't know if they had like a custom software thing going on where like it would like do it automatically or whatever, but like even then like saving in 2004 took a bit of time, and so it only makes it a little bit better than having to do it fucking manually, and like I can't even fucking imagine.
These are like good looking paintings too. Like the sense of like lighting in these like on like the water and stuff is like really impressive to me.
Yeah. Though if I'm gonna put my fucking critic glasses on, I'm gonna say like the skin tones look a little bit monotonous, like grayed out, a little bit dead looking. But I mean, fucking who gives a shit?
Yeah, well, the song's all right.
Yeah, the song's okay. It's like pretty laid back. Also like it's a bunch of like paintings of like the girls in Naruto and Pakun in like swimsuits, except for Pakun, who's not in a swimsuit. He's just a dog.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't know if I have a ton more to say about that. Like, I feel like you basically covered everything.
Yeah.
I guess, like, just for prosperity, this is the 6th ending of Naruto. It is song Ryusei by Tia. I'm just like, and putting it there because somebody listening to the podcast was like, hey, like sometimes you talk about an opening and ending, and like I don't know which one you're talking about, so I'm like trying to like be better about mentioning which one it is if you want to like check.
Yeah.
To see what we're talking about for yourself. So that's information that's in here. That's this episode covered. If we're ready to move on to the next one.
Yeah, okay. Episode 91, Inheritance, the Necklace of Death. Tsunade deflects the attack and grills Jiraiya about teaching the kid a jutsu he can't master, and giving him false hope. Naruto says he'll master it in 3 days. Tsunade gives him a week, and bets her necklace on it. Shizune finds Naruto in his hotel room and tells him about Tsunade's past, how she lost her loved ones, and how anyone who wears the necklace except for Tsunade tends to die. Tsunade mopes outside of town and remembers giving her brother the necklace, and how he was killed during a mission shortly after. She then met Dan while advocating for a medical specialist to be put in every squad. So
yeah, Naruto's coming outside with the Rasengan. She just like fucking uses her finger to like open a big fucking crevice in the ground that Naruto falls into.
Fuck, yes.
Pretty cool. I do love it when there's a character who's just like really strong, like just very like, maybe they don't have a ton of like unique attacks or just bring like a ridiculous amount of like physical power to bear. I think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, and I wish the show would do more with it because it's also on a character who should be a rowdy woman.
Yeah, for sure. It's not as like, wow, I can't believe you're teaching this kid the Rasengan to Jiraiya. And like, also, I didn't realize until like this scene that like nobody had said that this was the Rasengan before now. But Naruto's like, wait, what? The Rasengan? I didn't know this thing had a fucking name.
I swear Jiraiya had said it.
I think it was just one of those things where we saw it and we're like, oh, that's the Rasengan. And so we just sort of assumed that they had said it. But like the way Naruto reacts, like makes it seem like like nobody has said it to him before. At least like maybe Jiraiya like thought it and didn't say it out loud. But like
maybe.
Tsunade's like, Naruto's never gonna fucking manage to learn this thing. She decides to make a bet with him. I do like, when I do kind of like, Naruto's being like, yeah, I'll learn it in 3 days, and like Tsunade like extending the window of that bet as like an extension of like, oh, she likes gambling, but her instincts are kind of bad, right? I think that is like kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I have my like reservations about like what this arc is doing with Tsunade.
Totally.
Naruto gets sees it in Tsunade's way during his necklace. He's like, I don't fucking want a necklace. I want to wear jewelry. That's gay.
Yeah, and then, Jiraiya is just like, Naruto, that's the first Hokage's necklace. It's worth, like, a lot of fucking money. It's, like, a super important necklace, dude.
It's kind of, like, weird that, like, the thing that convinces Naruto isn't, like, oh, that was the Hokage's thing, and it was an actual, like, oh, it's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't...
Like, I sort of assumed, like, when Jiraiya's like, that was the first Hokage's, he'd be like, oh, shit, that's Hokage's? I guess I'm gay now. I want that fucking necklace. Yeah, right? Right. Like, this arc specifically is, like, weirdly trying to, like, build up Naruto as this, like, money-liking kid. Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's up with that.
He needs to take the love of money to the new generation because, like, Tsunade is about to stop caring about it.
That's so sad.
So sad.
But he Naruto accepts the bet. Because obviously, he's gonna fucking do it.
Yeah, obviously. This is, like, I've read a fucking shonen manga before, and also I've read Naruto before multiple times. It'd be pretty hard for him to do something that was going to surprise me.
I start using my time travel jutsu to go back and change Naruto in the past.
That's so fucked up.
No, I do a really good job.
Okay. I mean, like, I guess it'd still be weird. It would make it a weird podcast.
Yeah. Well, no, because then it would be a podcast by one of the authors of Naruto.
Oh, shit. But can you imagine how much bigger our audience would be?
It would be huge. I'd have fucking Naruto money, too.
Yeah. A lot of things would be way easier.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everybody sort of, like, goes back to their hotel room for the night. Shizune goes to go talk to Naruto. She's like, hey, Naruto, Tsunade didn't used to be like this. She wasn't always, like, rude and, like, disrespectful. It's not really her, to which I say, hey, why not?
Yeah,
She should be. You're telling me that she's only, like, a fun character because, like, bad shit happened to her? Damn. Maybe we need to make worse things happen to the women in Naruto.
Wait!
What?
All of the boys are so traumatized.
Yeah.
And they're the only ones that are characters.
I'm like, Tsunade is, like, very traumatized right now, but she's gonna, like, get over it, I guess.
Go back to being a normal girl.
Yeah. Like, I hope I'm, like, wrong about this. Like, I am, like, remembering at least a little bit incorrectly. I hope that there's, like, ways in which my pessimism is not, like, totally ungrounded, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I was definitely feeling, like, the fucking, like, encroaching doom watching these episodes.
Yeah. And it's just hard not to, like, feel an encroaching doom whenever, like, a girl in Naruto is starting to be, like, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Or starts out interesting. And
yeah, like, it can't fucking last.
Yeah.
She's only warns Naruto, like, everybody who, like, has had that necklace except for Tsunade has died. And then we cut to Tsunade, like, remembering, her younger brother in, like, the most, like, all right, we need to get in and out quick. We need to, like, establish that he was, like, a nice kid and, like, do the bare minimum of work so you'll be sad when you learn that he dies in the immediate next flashback scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's his birthday, and he's like, I don't want a birthday present. I'm 12. I'm too old for birthday presents. I'm going to be the Hokage. Tsunade, it convinces him to take the necklace anyway. And then the next day...
The very next day, Orochimaru is being amazing.
It's awesome.
I'm so glad he was always like this.
Yeah. Right, like, Tsunade shows up to where, like, Naoki's body is being kept, and like, Jiraiya's like, hey, you should go back there, and Orochimaru's like, why not? It's not like you'd be able to fucking recognize him anyway.
God damn.
Just being a huge piece of shit. The other thing I want to talk about in this scene is that Orochimaru is like, oh yeah, I mean, obviously people die on battlefields, so we don't have medics out in the field. So, like, everybody fucking knows that they should have medics, but don't.
Yeah, right, it's not like...
Do you think Orochimaru is, like, being grouchy about Tsunade getting the credit for it because it was his fucking idea, and then Tsunade took credit for it?
Oh, absolutely.
Because in these flashbacks, we see Orochimaru mention it before Tsunade does.
Yeah, I mean, and, like, also, like, I just want to say, like, I think it sucks. It's, like, maybe getting ahead, like, a little bit, like, one scene. But, like, I think it sucks that the impetus for like Tsunade being such a big like medical person and like advocating for there being like medical personnel in every squad is the boy she cares about dying.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I don't know. I just don't think the like thing that the competent woman is competent about needs to be like so heavily influenced by like a boy tragedy.
Mm-hmm. And then a second boy tragedy later.
Right, yeah.
I mean, because, like, Jiraiya and Orochimaru have shit that they want, like, independent of, like, a specific tragedy or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, like, did Tsunade fucking, like, want anything other than to, like, I don't know, I guess, like, see the boys in her life become, like, strong and be the Hokage before, like, this happened to her?
No, she's a girl.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true.
Naruto, everybody.
Like, I think on some level it makes sense to be like, oh, yeah, like, she went through this, like, personal tragedy, and it was like, hey, we need to, like, this is, like, a motivation to be like, hey, I need to, like, advocate for, like, a change in how we do things here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can buy that, but it's also, like, I don't know, I wish that there was a little more here, I wish that there was, like, wish that we had a better sense of, like, who Tsunade, like, is, like, outside of, like, these specific things that happened to her.
Yeah.
She's, like... after her brother dies, she's at like a meeting with like the Hokage and like I assume a bunch of the other like Leaf Jonin or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, hey, we should have like a framework for like teaching people like medical ninjutsu and like have medics on every squad. And Hiruzen is like, who's like presiding over this meeting, is like, you're right, but no, we're not doing that.
Fucking Hiruzen, god damn.
Like, there's some stuff he says that, like, kind of leaves room for, like, some of the stuff we talked about last episode. We're like, okay, like, maybe, Tsunade did a lot of research to make it, like, more, like, accessible, right? Like, he talks about how, like, they like, the Leaf doesn't know enough to, like, make that possible, right? Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that he says. So there definitely is room for him to be, like, for Tsunade to have been, like, the person who, like, made medical ninjutsu, like, a more accessible thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I guess I don't know if we necessarily get that framework. And also, like, one of his things he says is, like, yeah, I mean, it would take a really long time to, like, set that up. So, like, maybe we just don't worry about that now. And it's like, when are you going to worry about it, man? What is your objection to be like, somebody be like, hey, I think we should start working on, like, stuff so that, like, when people get injured in the field, they don't die instantly? Like, what, like, I don't know how that's not just, like, a slam dunk proposal.
Well,
especially when you have people like willing to put in the work, right?
Hiruzen's over there just like, I'm old, so I'm probably not going to see the benefits of this. So no.
He's not even that old right now, like in that flashback.
No, he's probably like, I don't know,
40 or something? I don't know. But like, fortunately for Tsunade, there's a guy in the room who agrees with her, which helps her ideas get traction. Which is really what this fucking scene reads like, right?
Yeah.
Like, why? I don't know why it's like this.
Why is it like this? Why did they do that? Why doesn't this guy have credit? Well, he dies, that's why. But like,
yeah, he dies. That's fine. We don't need the people, like, we don't need the show to like further diminish like Tsunade's achievements, right? It's done enough. Like, she could just take all the credit. Dan doesn't need any.
Yeah. His name is just Dan.
I guess we'll probably like Don rather than Dan, but like it's so hard to not just say you go Dan.
Yeah.
This is my weakness, as like, somebody doesn't know many people named Daniel, or at least one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, is there more you want to touch on for like this half of the episode?
No, you're ready to move on?
Yeah, okay.
Tsunade remembers the day before she and Dan were... Tsunade remembers the day before she and Dan were being sent on a dangerous mission. She gave him the necklace after he declared his intentions to protect the village and become the Hokage. He died in her arms. Shizune tells Naruto that ever since that day, she's been different. Naruto leaves to go train, and Jiraiya meets up with Tsunade. Jiraiya knows Tsunade intends to meet up with Orochimaru again, and implores her to think about the village, and the people who fought to keep it safe. Tsunade doesn't want to be lectured, and asks why Jiraiya brought Naruto. Jiraiya admits he reminds him of Tsunade's dead little brother. Naruto stays out training all night, and Tsunade ruminates on Orochimaru's offer over a game of pachinko. Rest in peace, Dan.
Yeah, he didn't... I mean, like, obviously we knew at the start of this flashback that he was gonna die, but he was not fucking long for this world.
Mm-mm.
Like, the problem is that, like, if you want to tell me about, like, two, like, tragic losses that a person suffered, I feel like if you're just gonna, like, shotgun them like this, you have to be very, very careful, or else it comes off, like, kind of silly.
Yeah.
Right? It's already kind of silly when, like, fucking Tsunade gives Nawaki the necklace and then he dies the next day, right? Where it's like, okay, like, really, the next day? But then what happens the fucking second time in, like, 10 minutes in an episode, it's like, okay, All right.
God, can you imagine how awful Orochimaru was after that?
Oh my god.
Wow, happened again, huh?
Maybe you should get that necklace or dad next. Haha, just kidding. Unless.
Hey, third time's the charm.
I mean, third time is the charm, as we
Right.
as we wind up,
Fair, but also funny thing to say for Orochimaru. Like, funny thing to say at the time.
Yeah, it would be a very funny thing to say at the time. Yeah, Tsunade's like trying to like save Dan, and like she's like doing her best to like heal him on the battlefield, but it's just too fucking late. This actually also raises another question to me, right? Because like we see Dan here. He's got a lot of internal damage, and like the healing jutsu isn't enough to like rescue him.
Mm-hmm.
If Nawaki was fucking unrecognizable, I feel like maybe a medic there also wouldn't have been able to solve that problem.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
All right, I won't worry about it.
Yeah, funny how like the thing that Tsunade did because of like her loved ones or whatever, right? It wasn't like, yeah, your little brother got like a cut to the thigh and it got infected and he passed away.
Mm-hmm. It's like he got turned into mincemeat.
Yeah, no, like some sicko turned him into a blood paste. Like, sorry. Yeah, and then she was there for the other one, so like obviously a medical specialist on the team didn't do shit.
There's still like, obviously it's still a good idea to have like, like practically speaking, it makes sense that you should have like medics.
Yeah.
Around.
Yeah,
in
right.
a combat situation. It's just like, it's weird how poorly this flashback makes the case for that.
Right, yeah. It's weird how poorly this flashback makes the case for that. And it's also weird that, like, it is establishing, like, those instances as the, like, thing that caused Tsunade to, like, pursue that so hard.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just, like, not applicable in either case.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And, like, if they're going to go through, like, so much effort to, like, rob Tsunade of the, like, extremely basic idea to have like a medical specialist in ninja squads like on her own, like without being inspired by like a particular tragedy that happened to a boy,
and having Orochimaru say that this happened because there weren't medics on the battlefield.
Right. They would at least make it the case that a medic on the battlefield would have helped.
Like I get that this flashback is about like establishing like here's the bad things that happened that like like drove Tsunade to be this way or whatever, but it's weird that we don't see her like saving anybody, and it's weird that like I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird that we don't see her saving anybody, and it's also weird that we don't see her like being in a position where she could have saved somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that's the thing more personally, like, they really don't see her save anybody, right? Because like, I mean, obviously, like, I can just believe that Tsunade's good at medical ninjutsu or whatever, right? Like, I don't need to like literally see it happen, but again, you are definitely like more. It is definitely more apt to say that it's weird that we don't ever see her be in that position of like.
Yeah, like, if somebody was there, this would be different. Mm-hmm. But, like, no, like, both people very clearly died in a situation where, like, a medical specialist, like, wouldn't have helped. And it's just, like, I feel like I'm making this, like, a bigger deal than it is, right? But it's just, like, it still just, like, sticks out to me so strongly. It's just, like, Naruto, the show, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like, Naruto has heard she's going to explain this and how, like, this changed Tsunade. And he's like, damn, okay, I'm gonna go learn the Rasengan and fix this. And he like storms out. I was like, okay.
Love this kid, so fucking stupid.
Yeah. If I learn jutsu enough, nobody will be traumatized.
Yeah.
It's the secret to the world.
I'll just be the boy with the necklace who doesn't die. And you know what?
Yeah.
He will.
He will. And we cut over to Jiraiya and Tsunade talking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know about this scene. Again, like, it's so, like, I don't know, like, it's so much like, okay, Jiraiya is going to, like, lecture Tsunade about, like, how, like what her character actually is. Or she's like, she, like, is talking about how she doesn't want to, like, be involved with the village. She doesn't want to, like, her whole position about, like, not wanting to, like, throw her life away as the Hokage for, like, a dream that she doesn't believe in. And, like, Jiraiya's just like, no, actually, you're different than that. You actually care a lot because you're the woman, and you're very responsible, and you're going to do all of this stuff. And it's like,
go fuck yourself, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, this isn't the fucking, like, the thing is that, like, the Jiraiya I like is the guy who's like, yeah, I'm not going to be the Hokage. That's not my fucking, like, that's not who I am, right? And like, it just feels so fucking incompatible with him being the guy who's like, okay, but, like, this other woman has to fucking do it. Like, this other person has to do it. Like, it's okay for me to not want to do this, but, like, Tsunade fucking has to. It's just, like, I don't know. It's really frustrating.
Jiraiya should have just sat down and just been like, all right, if you're not going to be the Hokage, then I have to do it.
And she's like, oh, god damn it.
So pretty please. If you're not going to be the Hokage, then I'll do it. This is a threat to you, by the way.
Like, yeah, like, it feels like it is just, like, it is striking at the tension of, like, what we're talking about, like, with like, how Tsunade isn't, like, allowed to, like, have her own, like, conclusions about, like, the, about, like what she wants in relation to the position of Hokage in a way that, like, all the other characters are, like, very, I don't know, it shines too bright of a spotlight on it, because, like, again, Jiraiya got to be like, no, I don't want this job.
Yeah.
And, like, he like, I don't know, and, like, I feel like there is room, right, for, like, maybe the show will even do this, and I'll be, like, pleasantly surprised. Like, I feel like there's room for, like, a story about, like, hey, you know, Tsunade, like, Tsunade, like, realizes that she can, like, carry on, like, the dreams of these people, like, more directly, which, like, still be kind of frustrating in the sense that, like, she doesn't really have a motivation of her own, right? But, like, like, it would be better than I feel like we've got so far if it became a thing of her, like, you know, like, realizing that she could, like, claim these things that the people she cared about for herself, right? As, like, a reason to keep living. Like, again, like, maybe that's even where this is going.
Yeah. God.
But, like...
God. And, like... I know I'm, like, doubling back on it, and I know that, like, we've already talked about this so much, but just, like, it keeps coming back to me just how, like, frustrating it is that Tsunade doesn't get to, like, just be the person who's just, like, yeah, I care about people, like, having medical attention and, like, being safe and healthy, right? Mm-hmm. Like, she can't even have that on her own without it being, like, a boy thing.
Yeah.
You know? And, like, because, like, that would be something. That would be at least something where she could then, like... Because it was also mentioned during the, like, Orochimaru conversation that, like, Tsunade hadn't treated anyone in, like, years.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so, you know, like, probably because of a fear of blood or whatever, but, like, if she had this strong, like, emotional, like, personal connection just to being, like, a doctor and helping people in a way that, like, where she would, like, come to, like, advocate for, like, medical shit on her own, you know, then that would at least be something that she could, like, get over the boy deaths and, like, come back into that and realize it's like, yeah, okay, like, being Hokage is, like, a foot in the door in creating a world, or at least, like, a village that is, like, more in line with my beliefs there. And that would be something. That would be enough motivation to, like, rationalize her deciding to, like, actually be the Hokage in a way that, like, I wouldn't personally hate that much. And, like, and, like, the show is so close to being there. It's just decided to make one too many things about the boys in her life who died.
Right. Like, again, I don't even want to, like, foreclose on the possibility of, like, maybe it will get there, or, like, maybe it'll get closer there, but, like, the picture these episodes are painting is that, like, Tsunade is a woman whose, like, personality just, like, fucking, like, changes completely every few years, depending on, like, if a boy near her, like, dies or does something. And it's like... I don't know, I want more, right? Like, I want more from a woman in a story, and I know I'm not gonna fucking get it from Naruto, but it's like...
Yeah.
There's only so much I can fucking, like, turn that off when, like, the arc is about, like, here's what Tsunade's deal is.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to talk about in the scene is that, like, you know, we learn, like, so obviously Jiraiya, like, took Naruto with him because, like, yeah, Naruto needs to be, like, safe from the Akatsuki are on the move. Like, Naruto, like, probably does need to learn how to be stronger. But also Naruto is, like, kind of here as, like, an attack on Tsunade.
Honestly, sicko shit. Like, Orochimaru wishes.
Yeah, like I don't hate this. I love that this is, like, some fucking psycho shit that Jiraiya is doing. I love that this is, like, some like, fucking freak maneuver where he's like, yeah, hey, here's this kid who's, like, a lot like your dead brother who, like, also wants to be the Hokage. I know this is gonna fuck you up. I know I'm gonna fucking get you in the corner on this shit. Like, so, sometimes I can't feel like it would be better if Naruto was more fucked up.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, like, the aspect of this conversation that is, like, Jiraiya brought Naruto here as, like, a fucked up negotiation tactic is, like, way more compelling than the, like, Jiraiya lecturing Tsunade about the kind of person she is element of it.
Right. Like yeah, like, it just is. I don't have that much more to say about it.
Yeah, I think I basically, like, talking about my frustration about this one, you know? Maybe next week we'll, like, wake up in a world where we feel better about all this stuff. Like, I'm in the bargaining phase.
Speaking of next week, what are we watching?
Next week, we are watching episodes 92, 93, and 94 of Naruto.
Nice. Hey, eager for more? Check out our Patreon. We upload episodes up to a week early. Patreon.com/Konoha Crush. All one word, Konoha Crush. You get access to those early episodes for just $3 a month. We also have a bonus podcast, Narukai Uzumaki. It's about, like, isekai and stuff. Last month we did ReZero, and this month we're watching Dot Hack Sign. So, like, you know, come check that out too. That's $5 for that tier. you get access to that and the early episodes and everything before it. And I want to shout out our joining tier patrons, Maple and Izzy, future Jinchuriki of the Six-Tailed Beast. Thank you so much for your support. And also, I just want to say, hey, if you're listening, thank you so much. If you like the show, we don't like advertise or anything, basically anywhere. Like, we post our episodes on Twitter and Tumblr and stuff, but like, that's it. So like, if you like what's going on here and like you have a friend that likes Naruto or whatever, like, maybe bring it up. Like, maybe talk about it. It would like actually mean a lot to me if word on the show like spread a little bit, you know, if this is if that's something you're comfortable doing. Any images we talk about during the episode can be found on our Twitter at Konoha Crush, all one word, Konoha Crush. We have a Tumblr now where we post about things. That is Konoha Crushcast, all one word, Konoha Crushcast.tumblr.com. And besides that, I've been streaming on Twitch. I'm actually going to do a Warframe stream because someone gave me $100 to do a Warframe stream. So, I mean, probably would have already happened by the time this episode is out because I'm doing it like tomorrow.
But if you want Gwen to do Warframe again, you know the price point.
Christ. Okay. That's twitch.tv/GuinevereTeef. GuinevereTeef. Guinevere Teef. Anything you want to shout out?
No, I don't do shit on this podcast. You know how it goes.
Oh, yeah. All right. Hey, thanks for listening. And remember, there's no such thing as filler.